Ukraine is not only defending the front, it is reaching deeper into Russia's battlefield rear. What changes wars is rarely one breakthrough, but the steady destruction of supplies, command, and timing. Reuters reports these medium-range strikes are growing fast, forcing pressure onto depots, radars, routes, and morale. Russia still pushes forward at the front, yet its rear areas are becoming harder to protect. Russia's pressure on eastern strongholds remains serious, especially around Slavyansk, Pokrovsk, and Kostiantynivka this spring. These fortified cities matter because they anchor Ukraine's defense and shape Moscow's wider offensive ambitions. But Reuters says Ukraine is answering that pressure by striking farther behind the battlefield line. Medium-range strikes matter because they reach beyond ordinary FPV drones into the machinery sustaining front operations. That makes the rear increasingly important because supplies and command often decide whether assaults can continue. A logistics hub may look ordinary, yet it connects fuel, shells, vehicles, timing, and operational momentum. Rail yards are especially critical because heavy war depends on repeated deliveries arriving in sequence. Once truck columns leave those yards, every bridge, junction, and detour becomes part of battlefield math. Ammunition depots are obvious targets because every gun line depends on constant replenishment under pressure. Reuters reported Ukrainian strikes also targeted drone control points and workshops supporting Russian battlefield adaptation. Command posts matter for the same reason. Disruption delays orders, coordination, and reserve movement decisions. Air defenses are another layer, because protected rear areas let logistics and industry function with confidence. Reuters said Ukraine's defense ministry described April's campaign as a systemic effort to exhaust Russia. The range matters too, because Ukraine said many strikes in April reached roughly 120 to 150 kilometers. Zelensky said strikes beyond 20 kilometers doubled from March and quadrupled since February this year. That trend suggests not a one-off raid, but a scaling campaign with operational purpose. Fuel tanks are vulnerable because burning storage immediately threatens convoy planning, reserve positioning, and delivery schedules. Rear distribution nodes are where separate supply streams become usable combat power for frontline formations. Ukraine's medium-range effort relies on concealment, timing, and enough precision to hit meaningful military infrastructure. A highway junction can be as important as a trench if several sectors depend on it. Russian troop concentrations do not stand alone. They are tied to a chain behind them. If shells and fuel stop moving, manpower alone cannot guarantee the pace commanders demand. Reuters specifically included drone workshops among the targets, indicating pressure on Russia's adaptive war tools. That matters because drone warfare now shapes surveillance, strike timing, and battlefield survivability every day. The contrast is striking. Bitter frontline fighting, but a quieter battle deeper behind the trenches. Forced detours increase distance, fuel consumption, exposure time, and uncertainty for already stressed supply systems. Even when convoys survive, rerouting can slow support enough to blunt a planned push. Electronic warfare and radar assets are valuable because they help shield nodes that everything else depends upon. Troop staging areas behind the line are less dramatic than assaults, but often more decisive. Reuters reported more than 160 middle strikes during April, showing real campaign scale. That number suggests persistence, because repeated targeting creates cumulative pressure rather than isolated disruption alone. Kyiv said those April operations hit more than 65 logistics and ammunition depots altogether. It also reported 33 drone control points and workshops struck during that same period. 17 troop command posts were reportedly hit too, widening pressure beyond supplies alone. For forward units, rear disruption appears first as shortages, delays, confusion, and reduced firing intensity. One Ukrainian commander told Reuters that food storage can matter as much as ammunition. That observation captures war honestly. Armies fail when ordinary support systems stop working on time. Bridges become high value because they condense movement through predictable, targetable points under surveillance. Around Sloviansk, front pressure remains dangerous, but rear friction can still slow the offensive rhythm. Drone-dominated battlefields punish armored movement, especially when routes and support systems face parallel disruption. Reuters described the fortress belt as the focus of Russia's anticipated spring campaign. A battalion-sized assault northeast of Sloviansk signaled how seriously Moscow viewed that axis. Smaller attacks around Pokrovsk and Kostiantynivka suggested pressure on multiple directions at once. Ukraine's drone teams thrive in this environment because they can combine observation with rapid targeting. Urban defense also buys time, forcing Russia to spend more resources for uncertain tactical gains. Ukrainian commanders expected Russian attacks on several axes designed to shake weak points open. Zaporizhzhia adds another challenge, because open terrain offers fewer natural obstacles and less concealment. In such exposed sectors, rear support becomes even more vital to keeping defenses responsive. A logistics station behind the line may decide whether an attack sustains pressure tomorrow. Drone swarms do not need dramatic breakthroughs. They can quietly hollow out campaign endurance. When supplies arrive late, even units still holding ground begin losing flexibility and tempo. Improvisation at depots often signals pressure, because repair capacity cannot replace stable logistics forever. The important trend is depth, not spectacle. More targets are vulnerable beyond immediate contact. Zelensky called this strike effort a priority area, indicating deliberate resource commitment from Kyiv. That priority also reflects Ukraine's drive to expand domestic production and reduce dependence abroad. Reuters linked medium strikes with broader attacks reaching places like Tuapse and other deep targets. Strikes on a seaport and refinery showed rear pressure can extend into energy-linked infrastructure. Smoke, spills, and halted operations matter because industrial disruptions ripple into transport and export systems. Faraway manufacturing centers no longer feel automatically insulated simply because they sit distant from trenches. ISW also noted Ukrainian strikes reaching critical infrastructure in Russia's deeper rear this month. One confirmed strike touched a gas facility more than 1,500 kilometers from the border. ISW assessed at least 27 long-range strikes inside Russia from May 1st onward. That scale suggests a wider defensive problem for Russian infrastructure protection across multiple regions. Air defense crews cannot be everywhere, especially when front requirements compete with industrial rear protection. Once electronic warfare and radar assets are hit, defensive gaps can widen faster than expected. Reuters quoted Ukraine's drone forces saying destroyed operational air defenses open corridors for deeper strikes. Ports matter strategically because they tie export flows, fuel systems, and military logistics together. Rail and road networks then carry those advantages towards sectors where offensive pressure is needed. The rear is not one location. It is an interlinked web of sustainment. That is why commanders must choose constantly between protecting assaults and protecting infrastructure behind them. Relocating a battery may protect equipment, but it can also leave another node exposed. Radar interruptions matter because uncertainty itself can slow movement, loading, and command confidence. Rear area patrols reveal a new reality. Infrastructure once considered safe now demands wartime vigilance. If night routes become risky, daylight movement increases visibility and vulnerability for supply convoys. Persistent surveillance turns moving logistics into a pattern, and patterns are easier to disrupt. Damaged bridges impose hidden costs measured in hours, detours, and cumulative operational friction. Moving depots farther back improves survival, but stretches every subsequent delivery route forward. Command post relocation preserves leadership, yet frequent movement can degrade coordination and continuity under stress. Communications relays are deceptively fragile because whole sectors may depend on a few nodes. Reserve units waiting for support illustrate how rear disruption reaches the front without dramatic headlines. This war is increasingly about interaction, offensive pressure versus the sustainability of that pressure. Mud, congestion, and road wear amplify the cost of every logistical adjustment forced by strikes. Rail rerouting may save cargo, but it also redistributes delay across an entire network. Fuel is especially unforgiving because longer routes consume the very resource they are carrying. Ukrainian targeting choices reveal doctrine. Strike what keeps Russian operations coordinated, supplied, and shielded. Artillery pauses often expose logistics stress before maps show any meaningful territorial change. A shell delayed by hours can alter a fight even when the front barely moves. Comparing February, March, and April highlights a campaign growing in tempo, confidence, and reach. Reuters described Ukraine's war effort as increasingly technology-driven, metrics-focused, and adapted to battlefield realities. Signals intelligence adds value because movement alone means little without understanding which nodes truly matter. Domestic production matters strategically because sustained strike campaigns require reliable, scalable supply of systems. Long-range indigenous weapons expand options beyond the immediate front and beyond donated inventories. Every destroyed radar or jammer can reduce the protective shell over rear infrastructure targets. The result is a growing map of vulnerable ports, refineries, gas sites, and factories. For workers far from the trenches, the war's rearward expansion changes assumptions about distance and safety. A struck terminal affects more than one facility. It can ripple through transport planning downstream. Security upgrades at command centers indicate that rear exposure is being taken increasingly seriously. Russia can still pressure the front, but doing so under growing rear strain carries costs. Civilian evacuations near threatened cities remind viewers that time and pressure still favor no one. Drone-heavy warfare also punishes armor, making logistics resilience even more important than before. An offensive depends on circulation, and rear networks are the bloodstream behind visible assaults. That is why exhausting logistics can matter as much as winning one dramatic battlefield clash. Even where Russia attacks, Ukraine is trying to make every supporting layer more expensive. Border regions and deeper interiors now share a common problem. Distance no longer guarantees immunity. One burning depot is tactical. Dozens of vulnerable nodes together become an operational warning. Defending everything permanently is difficult when the threat stretches from front-adjacent areas to deep infrastructure. This is the wider shift. Rear protection now competes directly with offensive ambition and force concentration. Sirens in a rear city symbolize something larger than damage. They mark strategic reach expanding. Industry, transport, and fuel systems form a war machine only if each link remains reliable. Ukraine does not need instant collapse to create problems. Sustained disruption may be enough. Front and rear are merging into one battlefield where timing, depth, and adaptation decide outcomes. Maps may show limited movement, yet the support architecture underneath them is increasingly contested. Russia's growing problem is not only the front line, but the expanding vulnerability behind it.